Hello, good people. How are you doing? It's a new month. It's a new, is it week? Yeah, it is actually a new week. Yeah, it is. It's Tuesday. Yes, I hope it's going well. Well, my February was a bit murky and it spilled over too much. I'm not mad though. That's just there's a lot of restructuring going on at work, and it's okay. It's nothing I can't handle, so I'm fine. I hope it's going the same for you, and if it's not, please, can you reach out and let us vent together? Because even this episode for today is just for venting. Because I am tired. Anywho, let me start by saying Happy International Women's Month. I am so excited. I have a project at work that is dedicated to this month, and I can't wait to share with you maybe next week. But this week, I feel like this episode was also quite due. So welcome to In All Honesty podcast. My fabulous name is Oliver Rao. And in this episode, I was to have Kare and Esther to talk about Wababa's experience. And yet again, it has not happened. Please bear with me. Kindly, the day they will come, I promise. This episode was also overdue, so let's get to it. I don't know how to name this episode, but I feel like money, relationship, trauma, all that. By the time I'm editing, I'll have found a name for it. But let me start with 3 incidences that are basically trickling down to why I'm having this episode today. First of all, I'm going to start this episode by saying not all women receive money from Wababas, and not all women have eaten Wababa's money. I was talking to someone last week and they were just like, oh my goodness, I'm also just living under the shadow. And sometimes, like earlier on, a few years back, I'd be embarrassed about it because everyone was just like, your mbaba sends you money, your nani sends you money. Me, I've always been like super independent woman taking care of all her business, And I'm just like, where do you get these people who just randomly send you money? And how do I begin my prayer for me to get people sending me money? Because honestly, I am super broke sometimes and I do not know where to begin. I just feel like I need someone in my life to just call me up and be like, Ebu, check your M-Pesa. Today you can cooler lunch with that 10K. I just want that. But it doesn't happen for all women, I know. Why I'm saying specifically women is because I've had this statement so many times, where huwezi sota weni dem. And this I hear from so many people, even people that I don't know. So someone can invite you out and then you tell them, ay banami, I cannot make it. I don't have the money to sustain myself outside with that sort of activity right now. And they'll be like, ay, weni dem, wezi kosa place ya kutoa do. Well, side hustle haijalipa, salary pia iliisha. So ukisema nitatoa do, I don't understand where you mean I want to get money from. Okay. So it's not all chicks who get money like that. So I need you to understand that so that the rest of us are not suffocating under that notion that women will always have money because there's someone sending them money. And also for family and friends, it also gets more personal because imagine me. I've worked my ass off every single day. I'm waking up, I'm working. And then someone random will just see you do something significant with money. Sometimes it's not even significant. Like, what would you buy? Say you buy a microwave and someone will just like, you're labdali tumeona mbaba. My friend has experienced this where she lost her job and was able to sustain her rent for a couple of months before she got the next job. And people were just like, that's a mubaba. There's a mubaba paying that rent. And it's honestly sad when you've put in so much work into your savings, into making sure you have a stable, what is it called? Foundation in case anything happens. And then it's all credited to a random mubaba who no one can point out to. So I think it's quite disrespectful to the amount of work that women put in to just get money. And now wakisota wamesota ukweli. Imagine see jokes. And I tell people a lot, I'm not scared about kusota mimi. Mimi naeza kaa kwa nyumba hivi na 30 bob and I'm still vibes and inshallahing like nobody's business, But The problem comes in when I have to leave the house with that 30 bob of mine. Hey, I feel mucus, I feel sweat, I feel blood, I feel tears, I feel diarrhea, I feel everything. So this episode will trickle down to that. The trust issues that I just have. It doesn't matter how good of a friend you are to me. We could be besties. You could take a bullet for me. I could trust you with my everything. But just leaving the house and having to trust you with being the one to take care of all the money expenses that will be needed during that day while I just sit still is a little difficult for me. And I don't know where like that trust issue emanates from. I'm trying to work and see where we'll get to with that. And with that experience now, here is the thing. I had 3 experiences that I feel inspired this episode. So the first one was Becky. Becky is a beautiful girl who runs an initiative called, it started as Trapped in My 20s, and then it evolved to Trapped But Thriving. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I loved it. Is it Trapped But Thriving? Am I 20s but thriving? Trapped But Thriving. I think I love where it's going, where people just share their experiences in their 20s and how they've evolved and how it's working out for them. And it's beautiful because I feel like the most storm-filled part of your life is in the 20s, where you haven't figured out shit. Everyone in around you is the voice of reason in your head. It's a lot. And usually no one knows where they're heading to, and there's like this clock for when you get to 30 you must have when you get to 30. So there's that pressure, but you have to you get to 30 before realizing that was nonsense. You can achieve what you want even at 50. So 20s was really hard. Anyway, Becky hit me up sometime last week and was like, "Hi Olive, how are you doing?" Of course, I'm a horrible communicator, so I texted back 2 days later and I was like, "Hey Becky, I'm fine. How about you?" And she said, "I was just checking up on you, that's all." Now, I love Becky. I trust Becky. And I know she's a clean, beautiful heart. But the conditioning in my head still tells me that she is buttering me for something. And honestly, she has genuine intentions of just checking up on me. So you see where this trauma is going. You see where I was battling with how to name this podcast episode, okay? Let's get to the second incident. The second incident happened a couple of weeks ago where I was just like reacting to IG stories, and I reacted to one of my friends, and then we started chatting on DMs. And I think Sijui, he was just telling me random things, and me, I'm also telling him random things and stupid things because we don't discuss anything functional in our conversations. So he then tells me, I think he's finishing his food. Akaniuliza kama nimekula, but maybe the punctuation or something, I might have missed it. But I remember replying to it because I must have given us a stupid answer. I am not the kind of person to have an appropriate functional conversation with, because that won't happen. So I probably replied something weird, like maybe nimekula njaro or something. So I think he texts like 2 minutes or 5 minutes later and tells me umepata. Now with a question mark. Now I'm like, okay. Tulimaliza ile conversation kitambo, hii sielewi ni anini. So then I ask him and he says he sent me money for food. So now I'm confused. I go and check my phone. So my Safaricom line is in a different phone. Business nini. I don't use it much. So I check the phone and I actually find there was money that was sent to me, and I'm just like, okay. And he says, no, that's just like random money. You eat or buy whatever. So I was confused for a whole, and he had to explain. He was like, I am not gonna ask anything of you. I literally randomly just sent you money for food. It happens. He sends people money for food, okay? And this has happened with him before, where we went out eating, and when I asked him for my half of the bill, he said, I don't know, he was escapist about it. And so that incident, I still remember it to date. I think I even still remember how much my half of the bill is. And now he sent me food money. And my first instinct was, I need to make sure I have this money intact. If I use this money, I need to make sure I have this same amount set somewhere ready. In case this person ever asks me of something and they want to link it to this money, I can return the money to them very quickly. You see the trauma I'm talking about? Yes. Incident number 2. Incident number 3 happened now a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago. My dad was in the city. Now I helped him out with a couple of errands, and then I set him on an Uber, and then I sent him back home. So he calls me, I think 2 days later, and he's like, kwani hii Nairobi amna adabu? You can't even call to say thank you for the money. And I'm like, what money, daddy? If you call me and if you send me money, you need to call me and tell me you sent me money. I don't expect money from people, daddy. And he was just like, whoa, lolo, unaishi kama mimi. Hata mimi, I just know, if I see any notification, it's money coming out of the bank. It's never been that it's me who's receiving money. And I think from that incident, I also learned that, so I never check that phone. So if you send money to my M-Pesa, you literally have to tell me, because that phone is usually somewhere around. It's a spoiled phone. So you have to call me now on my main line and tell me, Olive, I've sent you money, check. Otherwise, me, I don't expect money at all. So you see in these 3 incidences, what we pick up is that I don't expect any sort of like genuine good intention. What is it called? Genuine intention to check up on me. I don't expect that. And I'm not sure what this is a response to. I just know that if I see a notification, most of the time it's people wanting things from me. I don't expect people to just call me and say, hi, Olive, how are you doing? I don't expect people to send me money if it's not for something. Most of the time, if someone sends me money, it's for an errand. It has to serve a purpose, you know? So I don't know what kind of response that is, but I also wanted to just share, just in case there's someone else who's going through the same thing, because I know someone who's a very close friend of mine who also feels the same. And sometimes, guys, it's not even monetary. Sometimes I don't have money, so it's not that like people are calling me to ask for money all the time. People call me to ask for like information about something, to ask me for a tutorial about something, to ask me how to do something. Most of the time, no one ever calls me to just, hi, how are you? And sometimes people call me to go out to some place. And if you hear me hesitate, if you hear me hesitate or have to like figure out, I need to like some time, a lot of time to think about whether I'll come or not. It's usually because when I have been invited somewhere, it's something that's required of me. It's never just that good intentions that you come vibe. So if you invite me to a concert, I know you probably want a fan base, or you want numbers, or you want money for the ticket. I never just think at you just want me there, okay? The other thing, if like you've invited me for like something random, most of the time I usually just know something is required of me. And sometimes I honestly don't have the strength. Sometimes I just don't come to your events or to anything you've invited me for, because I know something else will be expected of me. And sometimes I just wanna be invited for vibes. I don't want to always think, okay, what is it that I'm here for? And it spills over to the experience that I've talked about, where I'm never expecting money. If I get money, I know it's for something. If someone calls me to check up on me, I know they're just pretending before they ask for something. And that is one thing I loathe. I hate it so much. Here's the thing. I have to establish this first. I don't care if you want to call me and ask for something. Anyone who knows me, anyone who's in my circles, anyone who's ever reached out to me for anything knows that you can reach out immediately. You'll get the information very fast, and all of it exhaustively. I do not mind. But the idea of buttering me up with like pleasantries before getting to asking me for something, that shit is low. Don't do that. I hate it. And a couple of people have done it, and I'm just like, don't do that. Ati, hi Olive, hey, na see your podcast is doing well, and TikTok is nice. Sijui nini nini. No one calls to say that. Just what do you want? And it's sequel buyer, guys. Me, I don't catch feelings if you call me and tell me, Olive, I need a tutorial on how to do SEO training. Me, I'll send it to you. Olive, there are friends of mine who've mastered this art. They're like so good. Where uko na thao? Sina, sawa. Where uko na thao? Wacha nikutumie. Tosha. Like, calls hata 5 seconds. Yani hata Safaricom haiwezi charge. I love such calls when you're asking for help. But this idea of battering, sijui, you want to extend a whole call for pleasantries only at the end to tell me, so I was wondering, can you ask your nani to give me nini? It is honestly low. Don't do that. If you need help from people, just ask for help from people. And there's someone I tried explaining this to, and they told me, actually, it's nice to check up on people. What if I call you and I find you are sick and me, I've called you to ask you for money? Let me tell you, those are two very different incidences. If I was sick and I didn't tell you, it's none of your business. You call and ask for what you want. If you call and ask for money and I have the money, it doesn't matter whether I'm sick or not. If I have the money, I send it to you. If I don't have the money, my sickness is not a factor in this particular task that we are running right now. Me and you are on this focus. You call for money. Was it money you're calling for? Call for that. Whether I'm sick, whether I'm not, even if I sound frail. Oh my goodness. If I sound frail, okay, fine. Oh, uko mgonjwa, una feel vibaya. Haya, mimi nilikuwa nakucall nikuitishe do. Okay, I'm sorry. If you like, just be human about it. Don't now go into guys, sijui nini. And then I've also experienced, this is something that I am trying to unlearn, and I've experienced it very recently with even people I've borrowed money from, where I ask you for money and you don't have the money, and then you go into explaining to me why you don't have the money. Please understand that if it is your money, you either have it or not. And it's okay to just tell someone, I can't at the moment. Don't give them a reason. Even if you just can't give them money because you don't trust them, you can just tell them, sikupei tu pesa juu. You don't have what I'm trying. It's so engraved in us that I don't even know how to say that sentence without saying because. You can just say, I am not able to give you the money. Full stop. It's okay. It's your money. Okay. So I'm also trying to learn that. I'm also trying to learn that when people ask me for money specifically, most of the time it's money. I'm also learning to just say, sikupei ama siwezi kukupea without explanation, because I feel like it's some sort of, it isn't good to make people explain themselves for when you're asking for help. But I understand it's deeply rooted in our culture as Africans. We always had to explain everything, even like just paying black tax. People don't understand how you worked hard, you got a job, and now you're not paying school fees for your younger siblings. So I understand we had to do a lot of explaining in our culture, and therefore that's also something that I'm trying to unlearn, and I hope people around me who are with me also just get to learn it. You can deny people things without having to explain yourself, especially if those things are yours. They're not entitled to it. And with that said, now let's get back to like traumas and responses. Now, this idea of me not expecting any people to look out for me, or just people to basically take care of me, I don't know where that response is coming from, because I honestly can't say that I was once exposed to money and then now I don't have it. I honestly can't pick out where that is. But if you're also someone who like goes through the same thing, just let me know, because now we are suffering in this era of people don't believe you're broke. You're working your ass off to get like that little money so you can at least live the lifestyle that you want, and everywhere it's just a hurdle. And then there's also this entire anxiety of you can't be outside when someone else is taking care of the bill. I honestly, I swear, if you know me, you have to be like in my inner circle for you to have known this. But if you know that I've left the house without money, and then you see me in a social space, just come and touch the back of my neck here. I'm sweating. It's not funny. It's not funny. So, there's just that anxiety of having to I can't amass enough trust and strength to put in someone else, to rely on someone else when I'm not in my comfort zone. So that is something that I thought I would talk about today because, first of all, I'm just upset by the people who think women cannot have their own money. And we have our money, si mingi. Some of us yet to see mingi, but it's there. And when we try and do things with our lives, it's not that kuna mtu anaisponsor, because it then discredits all the work that you've done. It discredits all the work that women have tried to do to get to a point where they can earn their own money so that they are not reliant on other people. And it's honestly a good thing. So, like, trying to shame that doesn't make sense. Because even for you, if you were to date a woman, you'd want a woman who can, like, stand for themselves in a certain way, you know, like, to some extent. It doesn't have to be all through and through. But at the end of the day, why are you shaming something if that's the thing you'd want at the end of the day? Anyway, it's so much work. Just feeling like I can't trust that someone is checking up on me. I can't trust that someone is just sending me something for good vibes. And it might be rooted in a lot of experiences. Just me coming to Nairobi, working with different people who, you know, at the end of the day, you are expecting that you'll provide a service and they'll give you money. And sometimes you find it's just, everyone is a prospective con artist. Everyone you meet in your life is a prospective con artist. It is sad, but it is the life that we live. And, well, here we are. In relation to this, I feel like I need to mention this. Now, in my early life, I don't know whether it's in my early life, I feel like I've done it until 2018, 2019, when I stopped. So I used to be, I think my love language was or still is, I'm not sure because I don't have a lot of people around me, so right now I can't tell. My love language, I think, used to be or still is gifts. So if I see something, if I see a shoe and it reminds me of you, I'll pick it and bring it to you. If I'm coming to your birthday, like I'll find a thoughtful gift to bring to you. Like if you invite me over to your house, I'll find something nice to come with, you know. But I realized that all through this period of my life, especially my dating life, I have gifted so much, but I can't show any gifts that I've been given. Okay? So when it got, I think in 2018, 2019, I think I got to the point where I started this self-awareness journey where I wanted to improve myself. I wanted to make my boundaries stronger. I wanted to be my own security before I could trust other people with my security. And so while I was working on that, I think I started cutting off things when I tried to be like a secure space for myself. And one of the things was like, I won't give what can't be reciprocated. And one of them now was gifts. And I'm sorry for people who came into my life or people who I interacted with during that period, because then I went completely cold. Yet, like, you'd call me to your house, I'd come the way I am. Like, here, receive me as I am. Jesus said in the Bible, we come like this. So in that period when I was trying to work on myself, and I didn't know, you don't have a manual for that. So at that point, I just like stopped gifting people. Like I'd have people, and then I was also, I'm someone who has people in my life temporarily. I don't have people for, we've been friends for years. I don't have that. And even if we've been friends for like forever, the trust issue still comes in. Like I feel like I can't owe you money and stay with it. I feel like I can't leave my house and go out and expect you to pay the bill and just be comfortable. It doesn't matter how good of friends we are. I'm still very uncomfortable with that. So again, it's a trauma that we have to deal with. But here I was talking about that period when I wasn't gifting people and I just stopped completely. And I think it happened up until now. I don't think I've gifted people in the past maybe 3 years or 4. I don't think I have. And maybe I'll get back to it because it's a beautiful thing. Like I love the idea, because my favorite my favorite event at work usually is Secret Santa, because then I have to think about the person I'm buying a gift for. What would they like? Like, that whole idea of personalizing a gift for someone is something that I really, really love. And a lot of people, when I'm with my friends and they're picking out gifts, there are people who use different techniques. There are people who are like, I don't buy someone something that they already have. There are people who are like, I don't buy someone something that they can afford. So I'm just like, and for me, gifts are very, I feel like even if you were to bring me a cup, and for me, it's the thought that you saw a cup and thought of Olive. For me, that's like good enough. Like, I love the thoughtfulness of gifts and not necessarily what the gift is. So I think in that essence, I always like got people gifts. And then I just stopped at that point where I was like, okay, maybe everyone I'm gifting, that's not their love language, and therefore they don't know how to reciprocate that. But then I stopped completely and never bought gifts for anyone. Not for a birthday, not for a shower, I just went cold. So hopefully I'll get back to gift giving, but I feel like I also don't want to get into that space of having invested that much emotion into someone and then gifting them and not like having to receive. Anyway, there's a lot. I think for gifts, I'll just do an episode on its own, because I feel like that in itself is just a trauma on its own. But for now, we are talking about the fear of commitment, fear of trust, commitment, trust issues, or the entire range of things that happen that completely make no sense to me. And I don't know. I'm just going to finish with don't butter up people when you want things from them, specifically me. Just ask me what you want. I never catch feelings. You should talk to anyone that knows me. Feelings are the last things I'll ever catch in this planet. Maybe unless I'm told I need feelings to survive the apocalypse. That's the only reason I'll catch feelings. So if you need something from me, just call out. But here's the thing. Sometimes I get spent out. Sometimes I'm completely spent out and I cannot offer what you're asking for. And it doesn't have to be money. Sometimes you're just asking for some sort of information. Unaweza pata mimi akili yangu nimechoka at that point. Na si kwa ubaya. When I get the strength, I will get back to you. But if I'm not able to, I will also communicate. I'm also trying to learn to communicate that. I'm just like, Leo, you're asking for this, but me, I'm not in the mental space. Can you ask someone else? Or if it doesn't have a timeline, can you wait until I'm better and then I'll get back to you? So long as it doesn't have a deadline, it doesn't cost you money, I'll try. So sometimes people are spent out, and it's okay if they don't respond or if they don't give you what you want. That is fully okay. All right. I think that's the end of our episode. What are the takebacks, lessons? Yeah, whatever. I hope someone else shares this experience. I hope someone else understands and feels encouraged that they're not the only one who haven't eaten Wababa's money. Tuko wengi, and people who are stereotyping women for basically just being women to have had money, it makes no sense for us. Okay, guys, bye. I'll see you next week. I love you, but I gotta leave you until next time. Bye. This is in all honesty. My fabulous name is Oliver Rao.